3, 2, 1. How we doing, Dan?
Dude, sketchy. My girlfriend's freaking me out about that, man. I'm not replying to her. I just get so carried away, like playing, we're playing video games, playing Warzone.
Oh yeah, dude, we went off today in Mini Royale.
Dude, that was fun.
We got a new tech today, so camera switches are gonna be.
Bear with us, YouTube. It'll be all right.
Bear with us, YouTube. We'll get it. Tom will learn.
It's good to be back, dude.
It is.
I'm happy to be here,
dude.
I'm like nervous. Ugh. I gotta get rid of that.
Nervous, dude. I guarantee, like, all of our listeners are sick of hearing me talk bullshit.
No, it's interesting because you're just interviewing them, It's just the other folks, so like they're getting plenty of talking time in.
Yeah, but I feel like some people when they come on the podcast, like they don't talk as much as I do.
Yeah,
and I talk a lot. I like to talk, and I'm thinking most of our listeners are getting sick of hearing me. So we need you to.
No, I'll carry, but that's fine. Dude, some people really don't open up quickly though. Like some people are the type to just like, I don't know, they got to hang out with you like a few times before they start like actually opening up and even wanting to talk. So sometimes you have to carry them on that first pod or just podcast in general because they're gonna be nervous and all that. So
no, I feel that but I didn't really experience that with a lot of people. I didn't experience that with I don't think anyone that I had like on video at least, except Tilu. Tilu was he was like fucking over here, dude, the whole time.
Hey, and I was just you want to like inch it over. Should be like
I straight up looked at Joe, who was my Jamie at the time, and I was like, dude, like grab the mic and just tape it to his face, like just do something, like
just get one, like a big harness on your head for just the mic to be right there.
Something, dude. It was honestly ridiculous just watching him. Like he'd start telling a story and then he'd just start like leaning over this way, and then like he'd be on the other side of the fucking table by the time he was done with the story. And I was like, no one heard that, dude. We're not talking to each other. We are talking to this thing in front of our fucking face.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. So I don't know. Some people just they forget, because they're not podcasters. They're just people doing stuff. Yeah, exactly. So they get in a podcast and they get in a situation that they don't know. Like for my first one, I was like jerking this fucking thing around. It was just
it was
all
everywhere,
over. Bro. I brought a sticker.
Did you?
Yeah, it's been in my phone for a while. I got one of those cases on the back.
Sticker to add to the table?
Yeah, so it's a Vans, of course, Dan Vans.
Oh, whatever. Wait, I actually think I have that sticker.
My full name's Daniel, so Daniel with the white van, back at it again with the white Vans. I'm not doing it justice. I don't really want to do the bit.
That's fair.
Can I just go wherever?
Stick it right there, man.
I'm sticking it right.
I mean, it's your podcast, so this is your table too. Like, this ain't just me.
Oh, I know.
I was
just making, I just didn't want to disturb the peace. If there was a specific way that this was supposed to be done.
Does this look organized at all?
No, but it's pretty dope though.
It is sweet.
I think my favorite one is where is he? Elon Musk smoking the J.
Dude, I got Obama smoking a joint over here.
Oh, dude, I've seen that. Is it the Key and Peele bit, or is that the?
No, that's the actual Obama picture.
Wait, he's smoking weed in that shit?
Or that might be the Key and Peele bit. I don't know.
Yo, have you seen that photo of Bernie Sanders marching behind Martin Luther King?
In the
60s, like Bernie Sanders was like, there's a photo of him, like a few rows of people, like. It's a big march. I think it might be marching on Capitol Hill. I feel like I'm just throwing out of my ass. I have no idea. I don't know about history about that stuff, but
why'd this come up?
They come up because there's all these significant pictures, and of all the pictures that I think of that are actually significant to like society, I think that picture with Bernie Sanders marching next to MLK. Did I say MLK?
I'm pretty sure you did say MLK.
Yeah. Martin Luther King. Yeah. So anyways.
I don't know who else has those initials. Besides like MGK, which is close, but they have no relation whatsoever.
Isn't MGK a rapper?
Dude, he's like an actor now. Like Eminem destroyed his career so bad he had to switch genres.
Oh, dude, they did the rap battle, didn't they? Or not rap battle, but like they threw shots at each other or whatever, threw shade.
Diss track, yeah.
Diss track, sure. Yeah.
Well, it's because
was it good?
Yeah, dude. No, it was brutal. Like, somebody broke down the entire song of Killshot. So here's what happened initially. It started out with Eminem making a song called Not Alike. And that was the main theme around that was, like, he was coming after mumble rappers and, like, a bunch of other, like, new rappers.
So bad.
And then, like, the last verse, he talks about, like, how how like Machine Gun Kelly wants to be him, and like he sold like millions of albums before he was like Machine Gun Kelly's age. Even he had enough money to just like piss it on him.
Dude, Machine Gun Kelly is he friends with the dude on SNL with the ugly face? Fuck, I don't know what his name is.
Wow, that's super specific.
Pete Davidson.
Yes, he is.
They're like super good friends, right?
I think so.
Dude, I don't know. They're like, I never thought of it, but they kind of make sense as like best friends.
They do look alike, yeah. And I feel like they act alike too. But so Eminem came out with the Not Alike song, and then like 2 days later, Machine Gun Kelly was posting a video of like him popping champagne and like blasting it everywhere while listening to it, because like he had essentially become famous at that point,
right?
Like more famous than he had been, because people who listen to Eminem now found out that he was like, you know, dissing on Kelly, and he called him out in the song.
Sure.
So Machine Gun Kelly came out with Rap Devil. You've probably heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard Rap Devil.
Yeah.
Came out with that song, and that was a diss towards Eminem. And then and that was like 3 or 4 days after the song Not Alike came out.
Yeah.
And then Eminem came back with Kill Shot like a week and a half or 2 weeks later.
Okay.
But
so they're just instantly going back and forth.
Yeah, essentially. But like in Rap Devil, he starts like talking about like how Eminem's like the greatest rapper of all time, but then calls him like a fucking dweeb and like calls him a nerd for reading like the dictionary and shit. And like and Eminem just comes back like Kill Shot's so crazy that look up Machine Gun Kelly's name real quick. Look that up. But Kill Shot's so crazy, it's actually based on a movie where an assassin with the same name as Machine Gun Kelly, what is his name?
Assassin with the same name.
Colson Baker. Yeah. So there's an assassin named Colson Baker or Baker Colson or whatever the fuck it is in the movie, and he gets double crossed by another. Like he's trying to assassinate a guy, and then that guy turns on him, finds him, and then ends up killing him.
Okay. Spoiler
so
alert.
like that's a whole ass like the name itself has meaning behind it.
Okay.
It's not just like called Kill Shot for no reason because Eminem took him out of his career.
Yeah.
Dude, that song, he shredded him. Absolutely shredded him. Like, talked about how his,
this is interesting as fuck, by the way. Like, I didn't know the backstory on that at all.
Oh, yeah.
I just knew that they were taking shots. And
Yeah.
I think what I had heard, or at least I just assumed, is that there was probably some dispute with like a female. Like they both were after
it was his daughter. It was Eminem's daughter.
Oh, and then MGK, he was like trying to go after her or something, or what?
It was actually a couple years prior. He tweeted something like, "Damn, Eminem's daughter is like hot as fuck," or like she should catch his dick, or something like that.
Dude, if it was that, that's
it was pretty
blunt.
It was pretty ruthless, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
But like,
well, now I'm kind of with Eminem now.
Yeah, at the time, Eminem actually contacted P. Diddy, who is Machine Gun Kelly's like boss or whatever, or like the guy that signed him. So he contacted P. Diddy and was like, "Hey, like make MGK take that shit down. That's super disrespectful."
Sure.
And so that's a big part of Rap Devil is like when Eminem didn't have the big enough balls to like actually call out MGK himself.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you though, it was kind of just a respect move. Like, bro,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna like need to call you out about this. I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't know.
But then it got taken really far because Eminem, like, that's a really big soft spot for him, I feel like, is his daughter. Like, that's he talks about it in multitude of different songs.
Yeah.
So I feel like when MGK pulled that shit, he was, like, really agitated about it. And he actually went to Diddy when, like, MGK said he wasn't going to take it down. He's like, all right, fucking cut him from the label then.
Damn.
Yeah, he was trying to get him, like, taken off the shelves and shit.
Yeah.
A little bit petty, but...
Yeah, that's going a little out there, but...
I mean, he ended up destroying his career anyway. There's a verse actually in Kill Shot where it says, no one even knew you, or no, it was, I had to give you a career to destroy it.
I've heard that. That shit slapped.
Yeah,
I was like, yo.
It was like, wow.
Yeah, honestly, Machine Gun Kelly, though. What's up?
No, keep going.
Machine Gun Kelly, like, he's kind of a good, like, he seems like a really good dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. I've never met him, but like from what I've seen, like the interviews, like just hanging out with Pete Davidson, he seems like a real genuine guy. Pete was in a real low place a few years ago, and it seemed like MGK being his best friend, he actually was being a really good best friend, and he was like hanging out with him all the time, just loving up on him, trying to hype him up,
yeah.
and And like he's actually seems like a good guy because his buddy was like in a tough place. I guess it's not a real good case for it, but honestly, like he's an actor and he's done some other stuff, and he just seems like kind of a genuine dude. That's why I was with MGK at first, though.
Oh, okay. No. Go back up with his mic. Sorry.
But damn,
we're trying to figure out some audio shit right now. Go up a little with it. Up. Right there. That's good. Go down to my mic. Scroll down to my mic. I can't see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh well. As long as I'm not fucking. There you go. As long as I'm not fucking, in the yellow and shit, or try and keep the black bar in the yellow. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
Continue with that.
Machine Gun Kelly. All I was saying is it's just like, from what I had seen from MGK,
yeah,
he seemed like a really good dude, but kind of hearing the whole thing, I don't know.
I mean, he came out with
Fire
a pretty
Tracks.
Good, yeah, he came out with a pretty good track about it was about how sad it is to see rappers come out of poverty, and the reason why they come out of poverty is because they go through all these really, really hard times, and they're just trying to make it, right?
Right.
And that's why rap is so beautiful, and that's the whole point of I forget what song it is. He's got an older song. It came out in 2015, 2016. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember the name of it.
Like MGK did, though.
Yeah, he did.
And it was a really beautiful song, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I listen to it all the time. I don't judge. MGK, yeah, his career's destroyed now, but back in the day, it was, seems like a solid dude, honestly. But you don't go after the GOAT of rap.
Right.
The guy that's gonna literally molest you verbally. Really fuck your day.
Bro,
up.
Eminem has some fire lyrics, man. From the songs that I've heard, I'm not a huge rap person in general.
Yeah.
I don't see I relate to it really well, actually. I kind of see all that hood stuff from where I grew up, but I think that for whatever reason I just vibe more with EDM and electronic music. It is what it is,
I definitely don't, in my opinion. I can't vibe with that EDM shit.
Yeah, you like the rap, right?
It just feels so directionless. It just feels like beats. It's
completely directionless. It's the only direction is to get to the beat or to get to the bass drop, or to feel out of vibe. I only like it when I'm on what's the THC, that kind of stuff.
On the marijuana.
If I'm on that, it's a vibe. I love it, but
I feel that,
and I feel like rap, a lot of it is real tough. It's real tough on the feelings. You get in your feels when you're listening to rap, because they're talking about that that deep shit. Eminem especially. Yeah. I mean, he's such a
Well, he has pump up songs and he has beautiful songs too.
True.
I'm not gonna listen
on a sweater already. I'm nervous. That shit. Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Whatever.
I'm not gonna listen to Stan or Beautiful or something like that while I'm lifting. Those songs are too. There's too much meaning behind them. There's not enough pump up.
Sure.
I listen to Godzilla and Rap God and shit.
Yeah, Rap God's good. Yeah.
That's just high pace. I think it's the BPM. The fact that the BPM is so high.
I think dude. I bet we vibe more with the BPM of our certain genres.
For sure.
Because I think there's definitely I like the higher BPM.
Yeah.
Beats per minute, right? So I like 90 to 120 in that range. And I don't know how rap is, but
yeah,
maybe it's
around there. It can get around there. I know Rap God is definitely around that high pace of a beat.
Sure.
But you had shit you wanted to talk about. We got
okay. Joe Biden. That's the thing I started out with, though.
Yeah.
Or not Joe Biden. What the hell am I saying? Bernie Sanders. That's why I was such a big proponent. Because Donald Trump wasn't out there. Joe Biden wasn't out there, but there's actual evidence of
Donald Trump was rich as fuck back then.
Well, yeah.
No reason to be out there.
Right.
He owned businesses at this point. There was no.
I mean, I kind of vibe with that, I guess, but that makes sense. But dude, we looked it up in I think the second podcast. We were talking about what is Joe Biden's or what is Bernie Sanders' net worth?
Yeah, it's $2 million.
It was $2 million. It was super modest.
That is pretty modest for a politician.
He's been a politician. He's not a dirty one. You can just look it up. He doesn't have money that these other people do. What? Nancy Pelosi has
She has $450 million.
What is that?
Pull that shit up. Pull up the wealthiest politicians.
What is that? I mean, what? Dude is actually doing the work. He's been in Congress forever. He's a senator, whatever. He does it, that's why I was a huge fan, just because of the person that he was. Nancy Pelosi's shaky self, and then now Joe Biden's about to come in with his
list of current members of the United States by Congress by
Second one?
Yeah, do the Wikipedia. Kelly Loeffler, 500 million.
Wait, why isn't Donald Trump number one? Oh, Congress?
Yeah, these are list of current members of Congress by wealth. Oh, these are current members.
Nancy Pelosi's only 16 is what it said. See that? Number 20?
That's Mitch McConnell.
No, number 20.
Oh, 16 million? Look up Nancy Pelosi's net worth.
Maybe she's married to someone with a bunch of money or something.
No. Pull it up in a separate tab.
I love it.
They're just watching you type and shit. That's awesome.
Sorry, dead air. Oh,
Yeah.
no, yeah. So go to Nancy Pelosi.
34 mil.
So which one's right, Wikipedia or this?
54 million assets, 20 million in liabilities for a net worth of about 34 million. That's really not.
But then the next one, look, you see the next one? It says net worth 120 million. That's celebrity net worth. Like, what is that?
I would believe that. For
But
sure.
the other one had it even lower.
Yeah.
So like, what? How do you know?
120 million with a salary of 223,000. That's absurd.
That doesn't make sense.
No.
That can't like that. Like, yes, we could say dirty politics, but
What about Kamala Harris? How much is she worth?
I don't think she's worth that much.
She probably is.
5 million. She was a lawyer.
Are she?
Yeah. Oh, she's 55 though. Maybe it's more. I'm so curious, dude. This is so
6
interesting.
million.
Well, she was the attorney general.
Attorney General.
Yeah, attorney general for California.
Oh, that's
Honestly,
not bad.
like-
That's really not that bad.
Yeah. What do you think about her? Like,
Nancy Pelosi?
yeah.
Or
Like, let's get into
Kamala
politics.
Harris?
F it. I mean, that's what I started off with, I guess. But like, what do you
Yeah.
think about like Biden picking her for the nomination?
I think it's a bad idea. I really do. She's a former police officer, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's
No.
former-
Well, she's a former attorney. So.
Former. I thought she was like a former police officer and a former attorney.
Oh, she did both.
Maybe. I don't know. I all I know is that like there was a time where she got a man like convicted for life in prison for having pot, and then she joked about like smoking weed.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm in the same boat. I'm
Yeah.
not a huge fan of her.
No.
Because there's that, and then there was also the instance of.
Isn't she the governor? No, not the governor. The a representative from California.
Senator, right?
I think so. I think she's a senator.
She was
from
attorney
California.
general, but
It should say.
shit, what
Just
was it?
hit back. Yeah, just hit back. It should say. Go back one more.
Dude, my brain is off right now. Kamala Harris, though.
Yeah,
like,
she's California senator. California Senate. That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
and
but
I just don't.
Well, she also put the thing in the law where like it made parents liable for like their kids' tardiness, and that just seems like an extremist like
Tardiness.
Yeah, or like if I have a kid, right? I'm
Yeah.
35. I got 2 kids in high school or middle school.
Yeah.
They ditch school 2 days in a row. I don't even know about it. I can be held responsible for that legally for not having my kids go to school.
You want to know something Joe Biden did that's really fucked up?
What's that?
Joe Biden was the biggest proponent in 2002 to push the bill to make student debt not liable to or not affected by bankruptcy. He actually pushed
Dude.
the most by it. He pushed for it almost entirely, and he was the one that solely got it passed, essentially.
Well,
And-
what benefit does that have? It's for the
They're really-
individual, right?
No,
like
no.
if I declared
It's-
bankruptcy, then the student debt would be with me my whole life, correct?
No. Here's the thing. So how it would initially go is if you are in a tough spot, let's say you lose your job, your wife dies, and there was no life insurance policy on her, and you're just in a really bad place, and you can't pay back all the credit card debt and all the debt you have, student loan, mortgage, all that stuff, you can declare bankruptcy. And that means that debt is initially wiped away from you, but you lose all the stuff.
Right. But
He changed it so that student debt prior to 2002, if you declared bankruptcy, student debt would be wiped away as well.
Okay.
Student debt was also included in that. But then he was the biggest proponent to get it passed through the Senate, the House, and through the president. And George W. Bush signed on it. And essentially now, if you declare bankruptcy, your student debt still follows you.
yeah, that's
Still
what I've
follows
heard.
you.
So why?
what-
What motivation was there for Joe Biden to do that? Do you know?
I think the motivation was actually behind banks. I think banks were pushing him to do it because what it did was it essentially made it risk-free for the banks. Because if you take out a student loan because you need to go to college, you declare bankruptcy, like that bank is fucked because they gave you just $80,000. You already have your degree. They can't take that money back from you. You declared bankruptcy. That loan is gone. But now they can just willy-nilly give out loans free. And people actually, there's leading economists that believe that because he did that, it is the sole reason why college is so expensive now, because banks can just give out loans, like the government can give out loans. Banks can give out loans willy-nilly without having a real risk to it.
See, that's a good case. That's a good case for, like, why college is so expensive.
That is.
And it pretty much is the reason, right? Like, I guess I don't really understand why...
Well, here's
why he did that. Like, why he saw that...
Well, he might have been lobbied by banks.
Well,
banks
right.
might have given him money, and...
That would be the only reason. Like, I don't... I guess I would have to ask him, and he would have to somehow remember that. I don't know how he would.
Dude,
but
there's a whole team animating Biden's corpse. He's not alive.
they're going to be doing... They got, like, sticks on it stapled to his arms. They're going to be, like, moving him around.
He's
a little puppet.
dude.
Yeah.
That's all he is. Dude, he can't remember shit.
It's tough, man. We have to, like,
he's almost
okay. So you just made the case for why not Biden and Harris. So does that mean that you're actually leaning the other way then, leaning to the right?
Well, no, I'm very progressive in politics. I believe that like a third party system is necessary. I believe I believe this two party bullshit is bullshit. Like the biggest fucking.
Agreed.
The worst idea anyone had was to pick a fucking team. That's all it is. Chris Rock said it the best. He said, "You're a fucking idiot if you take a stance on a point before you actually hear it out."
Right.
Like if you hear gun control and you're a Republican and you're like, "No, fuck gun control because I'm a Republican." Like I don't think gun control is a good idea. Personally, I don't really think gun control is that great of an idea. But anyway, if you just pick that side and you don't get to hear that person out and you're like, no, fuck you, fuck gun control because I'm a Republican. You're an idiot. You're a fucking retard. Because of the fact that you didn't take the time to actually hear it out.
Right.
That's the biggest thing is if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican, those people just pick sides. That's all they do to every issue because they're like,
they don't think about it rationally. They just
exactly.
Oh, well, President Trump is siding with that. Oh, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Just because there's this identity that you wrap your mind in.
It's a gang.
Right. Well, it's something to confide in. Like if you have no religion and there's nothing to follow, well, let me follow the goofy-haired white guy with the crazy blonde hair that I look just like for some reason. I fucking hate it. It's terrible. I look like Trump's like maid, like if he fucked his maid and then was just like, get the fuck out of here. I give you $1 million, get out of here. And then this is me. Like I'm really just the Trump, but I don't know it. Like that.
You're really just Trump Jr. too?
Dude, fuck that. No, I know I'm not. I look too much like my dad. It's fucking weird.
So your dad's Trump is what you're saying?
No.
Oh.
I would get I have free college and not worried about money if I was that fucking guy's kid.
Fair enough.
Dude.
Yeah.
Anyways,
there'd be so many memes made about you though. Be like, why the fuck is their kid like 8 feet tall? Like that doesn't.
Dude,
that doesn't
he's 6'2". I mean, he's not like that tall, but he is taller. So I guess it's possible. My dad's 5'10". And I'm 6'4".
That's weird.
And my mom is like 5'7". So like, why? What? What is that?
Yeah, I don't get. Are you the Schwann's kid? Like, what are you, the
Schwann's?
mailman's kid?
Oh, yeah. See, we always make that joke. But again, I just look too much like my dad.
We always make that joke.
Yeah, like, perfect. When did that, like, you got a tall mailman? What is this shit?
Tall, blonde. Looks exactly like your dad. He's just 6'8" or something. Just
yeah, to be honest, though, on the politics shit, like, I've kind of been leaning a little bit, if I even vote, I should exercise the vote. If I did vote, I would vote for Biden and Biden-Harris, right? Just because that's what I think is better for the country at this time. We've had a lot of turmoil, racial stuff, and I think that would be a better team to like support us and like lead us to the next steps in the process of like us getting the fuck out of the systematic racism, right?
And they're probably gonna be the ones to pass do marijuana
and that too.
Nationwide.
Yep, Harris is she used to not be into the idea of that, but now she's good. So, anyways, those two things I'm very much I like, but you know, economy and like the military, I totally understand the cases for wanting to go with Trump. I mean, character is a different thing. Mm-hmm. Let's take character out of the equation.
You can't even fucking you can't look at the character of. You can't look at the character of like either person because it's like one's just brain dead and then the other one is just fucking an asshole. So it's like
Right.
he's like a comedian that became president. Like it's unreal.
It's funny. Like he is funny.
Yeah.
I mean, he is like Sleepy Joe and like he has these
Crooked Hillary.
Crooked Hillary. He has these great nicknames. Like that
Dude,
is funny.
Dude,
that
he
is
called
funny.
the director of the FBI Dumbo. And dude,
I
he's
remember
got
that.
some big ass ears. Like he's
Dude, he does. It's really bad. Oh my gosh.
So I'll tell you. I want you to tell me your idea on the political situation, and I'll tell you mine.
Political situation. What
So,
you
like,
mean?
who would you vote for, and what reason?
Well, Biden. Just because just for like, I think that they would lead better. I think that they're going to do the social revolution in a better way. They're going to progress us faster. That's why. And like.
Okay.
I
could see that.
I don't look at the character, and it sucks that he has dementia. And if you don't think that, get the F out of here. Like, look up the compilation. Like, it's really bad. Anyways, Trump, he has good economic ideas. The thing that he did where he, like, cut taxes on the corporations was actually a pretty good law because of how much it's been able for these. Like, it's kind of... It turns into monopolies almost. That's what Amazon's becoming, and, like, it's getting scary in that regard. I will give it that.
But he also raised taxes if you were to put manufacturing outside of the country. He raised taxes.
Right,
for
but
that.
that's keeping stuff in here.
Exactly.
That's his idea of trying to keep the
He-
businesses in the U.S.
Yeah, he cut taxes for businesses in the U.S. and then he raised taxes for businesses outside of the
Exactly. Totally influencing the companies to stay in the U.S. That way jobs stay here, and hopefully we can have all these more and more jobs. That was his idea. And to be honest, the unemployment rate did go down pre-COVID. So like,
It did, yeah.
and again, I'm not with Trump, but there are some things that he has done pretty well, to be honest. Like cutting the corporate tax was a good thing. It was at 35%. He put it down to 21%. At least that's from my understanding, and that's great. It's
pretty significant.
Yeah, if I had a corporation, if I was a CEO, whatever, what have you, that's great. If you're a stockholder in a company, you want it to do well. Mm-hmm. And so from like a boomer where they have tons of money wrapped up in 401ks and the stock market, they're going to want the country to flourish. So
I agree.
Because they want to make so much money on the 401k, whatever. So, what do you think about it?
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I think this whole political situation is actually directly tied to Ghislaine Maxwell. So do you know who Andrew Schultz is?
Yep.
He's a comedian.
I've seen all those videos, dude.
Have you seen the one where he talks about...
Yep. It makes perfect sense. It's a fight. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're going to lay it out way better than I will. So
So essentially what Andrew Schultz said, which was something that I had been thinking about pretty significantly, is that when Trump, when they asked him, like, what's your take on Ghislaine Maxwell? And he's like, oh, I just wish her well. I just wish her well.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
He
wish her well. Dude, get out of here.
I know, that's ridiculous. Like, one of the only, like, woman that actually deserved it from him, right?
Yeah.
Deserved, like, all the shit that he was about to throw
So
out, but he just didn't. But so, here's my understanding.
Ghislaine Maxwell is the person, she helped, like, the whole process with the Epstein shit,
of
right?
grooming girls, yeah.
Grooming girls,
Grooming.
making, like, pepping them up to look better?
No. Grooming means, like, you take a young girl and then you slowly introduce them into, like, some sort of molestation or, like, some sort of sexual acts with, like, an older gentleman, Epstein, for example.
Oh, so she would, like, kind of hook them up as sort of the...
Yeah,
kinda, like,
so
court them?
Did
I
you
don't know.
watch the documentary?
No, I didn't.
So the documentary, I watched the whole 10-part thing. The documentary was pretty disgusting, to say the least. They actually, like, showed images of, like, photos and, like, pictures that Epstein had hanging up in, like, his house, and they were, like, of naked girls that were definitely young, but I don't think they were, like, sub 18. I think they were like very just young adult women. But those were the pictures, like, hung up on his wall.
Like barely 18. Like, but they are 18, but none of them were under 18. You think?
Well, he purchased those pictures from a store.
Oh, okay.
Or, like, drawings and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then,
So weird, dude.
But then they also, like, did take pictures of, like, 16-year-old, 14-year-old girls that would go to their house. So the big thing is that Ghislaine Maxwell would go around and she would find these young girls, like, in impoverished areas in Palm Beach, Florida, right? So Palm Beach is a very wealthy community in Florida.
Okay.
They would go across the bridge where it's actually a very poor community in Florida.
Sure.
And they would find girls that were living in these terrible households. They needed money, you know, their parents weren't around or on drugs or something like that. And they would basically offer them $200 to come to this house and give a massage, right? And they would go to Epstein's house, and Ghislaine Maxwell was like the main funneling source for this. Because if you had a guy come up to you, and
it wouldn't go over.
No.
It'd just be like, get the F away from me.
Exactly. So Ghislaine Maxwell was like the biggest like catalyst for that. And she was the biggest like person that groomed the girls.
Sure.
She would slowly, like, first it would be a massage, and then Epstein would roll over, like, jerk himself off while they're touching him, and then, like, they would leave. And then it would progress more and more into, like, you know, just more disgusting acts.
Sure.
It was pretty fucking horrific.
And so, from my understanding, Epstein had his own, like, island, and that was a place where he would bring rich people, sort of like people that are assumed to be in the Illuminati.
Well, there's a lot, actually. And he owned a lot of property.
Okay. So then that he would bring, but from my understanding, it is Epstein had the island. He would bring the rich people, and then they'd be able to basically just fuck underage people or just girls. Like, that may have been drugged or not, but either way, it didn't seem very consensual.
No, it really wasn't. Like, even the locals around the island, like in the Virgin Islands and stuff like that, the people who were on the main island where you'd have to land the plane and then like move all the shit to Epstein's, you know, Little St. James Island.
Okay.
That was, they would call it Pedophile Island, because they would take a bunch of young girls and bring them there. So fucking Andrew Schultz.
That's so nasty.
Prince Andrew was boogie boarding a third grader on Little St. James. Dude, that fucking joke kills me every time I hear it. But so
it's a fight for the right to pardon
Ghislaine.
Pardon Ghislaine. You gotta fight.
Because for sure Biden is wrapped up in that some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Biden's wrapped up in it. I know the Clintons are heavily wrapped up in it.
Trump's wrapped up in it.
Trump is also wrapped up in it as well.
Because there's been some news articles that I've read that, like, he was on his way to that island or something like that, and there was an underage girl on board. Now, this isn't exactly on the island, but it was en route to.
On the plane?
Yeah. And there was a chick on the plane with him, and apparently he, like, raped her and just performed a bunch of shit. And,
yeah, so there's...
And, I mean, it was, like, a really sick article. And the woman never wanted to have her name outed, because I wouldn't if I was a chick. It makes perfect sense. But
are you talking about...
Like, she knew details about the plane. She knew details about him. Like, it was legit. And what was your question, though?
I think you're talking about there was an actual lawsuit filed against Trump and Epstein. It was a legit like a court case that had been not thrown out, but there was like a legit lawsuit behind, and this woman explained she was 13 years old, and that I think they were at the island or they were at like Epstein's house or something, but Trump raped her, and she was 13 years old and took her virginity. And Epstein got pissed because Trump took her virginity and he wanted to. So Epstein got mad. He outed Trump, like, completely, like, kicked him out of, like, their little sex ring, their little child trafficking ring or whatever the fuck it is, and started, like, beating the shit out of the girl while he was, like, raping her. Yeah, Epstein was. Because he was mad that Trump had taken her virginity.
Dude, this is so nasty.
It was like, so fucking grotesque, dude. There was like a scene where this girl had been...
Dude, I feel sick to my stomach, to be honest. Like, it's nasty.
She was 14 years old, and she was like 16 years old, and she was doing this art thing at school, and she had actually drawn something like pretty profound, so that it went to an art gallery, and Epstein and Ghislaine offered to buy it for like $20,000 or whatever. And then they wanted to take her in and like have her like study abroad and like pay for all the shit and like pay for her schooling and stuff like that.
What?
And in essence, that she would work for them. But then she stayed at this ranch in Utah, I believe, and there was when like Ghislaine tried to like start grooming her and stuff, and she would draw pictures of her and her sister in poses in underwear. She wouldn't draw her and her sister specifically, but her and her sister would model photos, and then she would draw like essentially sensual drawings of like just some random women,
Okay.
but she would base it off of like the pose that they had, right? So she would have pictures of her and her sister in like bikinis and taking pose pictures, so she would have something to draw off of, so she wouldn't have to go directly from memory.
Yeah, makes
She
sense.
could get like body lines and details and stuff. And then the first night when when Epstein came in and like he went into her room and just started like cuddling with her and saying like everything's gonna be okay, and she's like, no, I'm not okay with this, and she got up and ran into the bathroom. And then Epstein left, and then the next day she wanted to move back. She wanted to move back home, so she told them, she's like, I'm leaving. And then she went to go pack up her shit, and all those pictures were gone. All the pictures that she took of her little sister, of her sub 18 years old. Her little sister, I think at the time, was like 14.
Yeah.
Really, really fucked up shit.
Yeah.
So they tried grooming her, and like it essentially didn't work. And
Was this all in the documentary? By the
It
way?
was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the documentary is really good. I would suggest watching it if you get a chance.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really gut wrenching though. It's a
Yeah.
4-part.
I don't know if I'm ready for that tonight, but I might have to get to it.
It's a 4-part documentary.
It would give me a lot more insight on like what exactly that was and who is who and what Epstein really did.
So Ghislaine was a pretty big component in the ring that they have, right?
Right.
And so
Back to the Andrew Schultz thing.
back to the Andrew Schultz
Okay.
thing, and this was all what Andrew Schultz said. This is like entirely what he speculated, is that if Trump
Very
wins,
condensed. Short video.
very
But
short
yeah,
video,
yeah.
5 minutes maybe. If Trump wins, he has the power to pardon Ghislaine. So he's letting her know that if he wins, he's on her side.
Yeah.
And she can out, all the Democrats and everyone who's really not in Trump's circle or that would affect Trump in a negative way, right?
Right.
And then on the other side of that, if Biden and Kamala Harris win, then they have the ability to pardon Ghislaine. And she could out Trump and all his cronies. So it's like
Yeah.
I think that's a huge proponent to the election, but
Yep.
for who I'm going to vote for, I'm going to vote for the Libertarian Party.
Okay.
Because if they get a certain amount of votes, not this year, but because I think they already missed the cutoff, but if they get a certain amount of votes, like a certain amount of the population, I think it's like 1% or 2% of the population actually votes for the Green Party, or not the Green Party, the Libertarian Party,
Sure.
then they get a spot on the actual presidential debates.
Whoa.
So that's the thing I'm pushing for, is to get another fucking face up on the stage.
Dude, that's actually so interesting.
But
I
that's-
didn't know that. So what percent is it exactly?
I think it's like 1 or 2%.
Literally.
It's really low. But
Okay.
that's still like 3 to 6 million people, man.
That's not that many. It's really
yeah,
not.
but to vote third party.
Like it's not that many people. Like it feel like we should be able to get to that, right?
Oh, for sure. But we just haven't yet. And that was the biggest thing with like Gary Johnson, because Gary Johnson, back in 2016, he was like the first candidate that had been a libertarian like candidate that was like fucking that had experience in politics and had the money to make a decent campaign and actually run. But it was the one fucking thing. I think it was like, what's the capital of like the ISIS operations back in like 2016?
The capital of it?
Yeah, it was some weird name with like an A.
I have no idea.
Well, they asked him like what that was, or they asked him about it, like what was his take on it, and he was like, "What is that? What is Aleppo? What is Aleppo?
Aleppo, right.
Yeah,
I remember
You
that.
don't have to look that shit up now.
That's what shut him down, kind of.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Everyone just was like, "Oh, he doesn't know what Aleppo is. He doesn't know anything about foreign relations," and then just like
Exactly.
instantly done.
Exactly. And he was the one libertarian candidate that like had a shot, had the money. But now we got this fucking guy with the big ass beard wearing a boot on his head. And it's honestly, it's a big rubber boot and it's on his head all the time. And it's just irritating. But like the libertarian
What the hell are you talking about? Is there
That's-
actually a guy
Yeah.
that's wearing a boot?
on his head, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He's been the candidate like 4 times.
Oh,
He's been a candidate like 4 different times.
okay.
He's just a
Weirdo.
crazy dude with like a bunch of money that has like the ability to just
It's
keep
kind
running.
of funny.
But that's the thing, like the libertarian ideals are pretty sound. And if we were able to get a libertarian in office, it would no longer be, right or left. There would be a middle ground finally.
Yeah. Well, okay. So tell me what 2 things. What exactly about libertarianism is different from like being a conservative or liberal, right? But then, and what about that like attracts you? What do you attract to about that?
Libertarian ideals is mainly like the government can fuck off and let me do my own thing.
Okay.
That's one of the biggest things. Libertarians believe that you should have a right to a gun. You should be able to do any drug you want. You should be able to raise your kids the way you want. You should be able to kind of do your own thing, right?
Sure.
With certain laws and regulation in place, obviously, but like hardcore, like the total, what's the word I'm looking for? Radicalized, like, libertarians.
Sure.
A lot of them think like you don't need a driver's license.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Like they don't.
So there's some things that you're kind of just like, let's get driver's license.
But but there's a lot of like libertarians are like, oh, do I need a license to use my own damn toaster? Like that's kind of how they think it is because it's their car. They can just fucking get in it and drive. But no, you need to like pass a test first.
Right. I
you
mean,
need to
it
get your
is
driver's license.
Right. This is a lot of safety to that. I mean, you have to understand the basics of a car. You need to know what you're looking for, right? Like that makes perfect sense.
So that's a
radicalized libertarian.
That's a radicalized libertarian.
So from a simple, putting it simply, libertarian is very low maintenance government or like low government. Like they don't have much control.
Yeah, that's really it. I mean, the government obviously oversees like safety things and stuff like that.
Right.
But libertarians mainly believe like the government can just fuck off and stay the fuck out of my business. That's basically it.
I kind of like that.
The government shouldn't be able to say it's legal for gay people to get married, right? That should already be a thing.
People can just do whatever they want. They can live how they want. They can believe what they want.
True. And they believe separation of church and state is huge too. That's also a big proponent of it, and I believe in that too.
Yeah. Okay. So you believe in that, and then low government. Sure.
Low government. I believe like guns should be less regulated. I think it should be obviously harder for people to get. Like disabled people should not be able to get guns. Criminals should not be able to get guns. Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But like if you're a law-abiding citizen, you've never broke the law in your life except maybe like a couple speeding tickets. You should have every right to own a fully automatic weapon. Yeah. In my opinion. Okay. But that's because I'm a little bit more radicalized than most people. I think automatic weapons in the right hands are safe things. It doesn't make it any easier to just hold a trigger down and just fucking kill somebody than it does to actually pull the trigger multiple times.
Right.
If you're a trained
marksman, yeah, it's pretty. You can shoot almost as fast, if not sometimes even faster, if it's a really light trigger. Than machine like automatics.
Most trained marksmen actually prefer semi-automatic weapons
because it's so tactile.
It's
and it stops on a dime. Like you know you're not going to shoot the next shot because you just took your finger off, and like sometimes automatics can get stuck or whatever, and like they can get fucky. So I'm kind of out on like semi-autos. I think you should be able to like license them or rent them or shoot them if you want.
You mean automatics?
Automatics. I'm sorry. What did I say?
Automatics. So automatics were made illegal by Nixon.
Oh, I thought it.
Or Reagan.
It was that long ago.
It was either Nixon or Reagan.
Wow, okay.
I think it was Reagan. Nixon was 80s, right? Nixon was president in the 80s?
I swear to God.
Watergate?
Yeah.
Or was it Reagan that was...
No, Reagan. Nixon was 60s. Reagan was 80s, Nixon was 60s, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Or 50s or something?
Yeah, it was... What? Valentine's Day Massacre of 1929, an attempted assassination of President-elect Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Oh, go back.
In 1933. Like the current National Firearms Act, NFA, the 1934 Act required NFA firearms to be registered and taxed. A $200 tax was quite prohibitive at the time. So...
I'm kind of confused as to what popped up there. It looks like Gun Control Act of 1968. If you could just scroll down, Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah, it was Bill Clinton.
Okay, so Bill Clinton, the ban applies to any
1994
weapon manufactured that dated ban. Okay. All right.
Applied.
Well, anyways, it was Bill Clinton who apparently.
Oh, it was the federal assault ban. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, the federal assault ban, because that's technically an assault rifle. Is one that fully automatic. Or that's one that's fully automatic and used by the military.
Sure. I think that my biggest thing is just freedom. Freedom and, like, capitalism. I love it. Like, there should be taxes, but I think that we got to be a little bit more wise with the money. Because what government does is they have, there's no surplus in government. When government is given money, they're incentivized essentially to...
Spend it.
Like,
Yeah.
they don't want a surplus because then they have to give it back. But a business is actually incentivized to go under budget and not have or to have a surplus because because then that goes to the stockholders and then they make money. So government should be run more like a business in that sense.
But a lot of businesses aren't doing that. A lot of businesses do have a certain, like, they'll have a certain budget for the year, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So I don't know. You've seen The Office, right?
Yeah.
You've seen that scene where Michael has like the surplus.
Yeah.
Or that episode where Michael has the surplus. He's trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, I love The Office.
Yeah. So that that's a prime example. Is that like corporate businesses, like a home-owned business or like a business where you just have a couple investors and it's like a small family-run business. Yeah, if you have a surplus, you want to give that back right to your board members and your investors.
Right.
Because if it goes to them, potentially they're willing to invest that back into the company. Therefore, you're
going to grow it faster. But when we're at a bigger business, you're kind of getting it to the
exactly. So when you have a corporate business and you have these small offices, sitting around, you have small branches. Each branch is going to use
a certain amount of money,
all their money.
Yeah, no, each branch individually will. That makes sense. But I think that
the company as a whole won't have a surplus.
There are though. They'll make more money back
for sure
and stuff like that. So, I guess what I'm getting to is that like there's just so much wasted money in the government, and there are a bazillion jobs in government. Mm-hmm. There's everything you can think of. So,
to working for the city, all the way to being a politician,
right? Civil engineering, whatever. So there's a million ways that government provides help to the people. They give jobs. They do really good services.
Yes.
But I think that there are things that we could cut out and just kind of give into more companies. Like, I can't exactly think of anything specifically, I guess, but I just think that it should be run more like a business. And so capitalism and freedom, like what you said with the guns and freedom of religion, or
freedom of drugs, like you want to do.
Free speech, everything. I think that this is a free country. Like, I don't want to have to praise a certain god or like be killed if I praise a certain god.
Well, think about it. Like a politician, like a president actually can't really get elected unless he's like an outgoing Christian, right?
Politician can't. Yeah.
No, well, like a president. There's tons of like Mormon politicians. There's
they're just playing politics, bro. You think Donald Trump's sitting there in Catholic Church actually praying? Like,
probably not.
You know he's not. I mean, we both
probably not.
Yeah, but
I would assume he isn't.
I think you're right. I think that you do kind of have to have a little religion in you, because it gives like that foundation. Like, oh well, he's a Christian. He must have good morals. He must be a good guy. Like people just think that, and everyone wraps
the older generation. That's not us.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's definitely. Like, it's the boomers and the older generations. Sure.
It's not even Gen X though. That's the thing. It's not even like our fucking parents. Well, not your parents. Your parents.
My parents are boomers. Yeah.
The parents are old as shit. But
they are.
My parents are like in their 40s.
No, yeah, mine are in their 60s already. So.
Wow, that's old. My grandma just turned 70.
Yeah. So my parents are in between your parents and your grandma.
Huh.
Interesting.
They're closer to my grandma.
Well, same with Kate, my girlfriend. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Right in between my parents' age is 60. Her parents are like 50-ish or something, and her grandma's like 70-something.
No way, that's crazy. But
anyways,
my parents don't even. My parents aren't religious. They could give a shit less if you are religious. They don't give a fuck, and that's most of Gen X. That's something I truly believe, is that like most of those people in that generation don't think that Christianity is something that's a necessity for a politician. Boomers do.
That's very true.
Specifically, boomers are like the biggest proponent, and that's like the majority of the politicians currently is boomers.
Right.
It is the age that was, entitled in every fucking situation. You know what it was?
Boomers kind of fucking suck.
They do. There was actually a study done. I think it was by Harvard.
Your
or
parents
Yale.
Boomers? No. What are they like?
40s.
Okay.
Oh, that's not bad. But
that's crazy, bro. That's so interesting.
Fucking shit. What was I gonna say? Yeah, boomers. They're entitled as fuck. Like, talking to my grandpa, he was like, "Why can't you just go get a job?" I was like, "Well, it's a fucking pandemic. First of all, that means there's not a lot of jobs." And second of all, I have to go through a whole ass
Grandpa,
process.
it's a fucking pandemic. Fuck off.
But it's
like,
a whole
Grandpa.
There's a lot to it. You know, there's the fact that there's a pandemic going on, but also the hiring process now compared to what it was back in the day. So like when you were 20 in like the boomer era, that was like in the 60s or whatever, you could like walk up and just ask for a job. There would be flyers outside saying help wanted. You'd walk in and ask for a job. Now you walk in anywhere, even McDonald's, and you're like, hey, can I get a job here? They have you fill out an application online, and then that application goes to their boss's desk, and their boss gets to it whenever the fuck he wants to get to it. And if they don't need people urgently, more than likely your application is not going to get looked at.
Sure.
For months.
I think they had to fill out some sort of application back then.
No. There was no.
Well,
really
I guess
requirement.
I guess what I'm thinking is like there were a lot of. It felt like the way my dad explains it, because we actually live in the same place that he grew up, which is the east side of St. Paul, kind of. Shout out East Side. Ooh, yeah, whatever.
Shout out East Side.
Yeah, East Siders love being East Side. Sam's all toad about it. He's loud about it. Anyway,
He's loud about it.
Yeah. Anyways, like he explained it that there was a lot of small business. Like there were a lot of corner stores, and that's how families got by. You know, it was week to week, month to month, whatever. There were pharmacies that were the same way, where it was a local run pharmacy where Dr. Savitz was the pharmacist and he had just a few employees and his wife worked there, and it was just this cool situation. So I think I think you're right. I think with technology, it's made people more cautious. It's made people like we need to know, like we just give it some time.
Yeah.
We'll figure out if you're the right person for us. It makes sense. But I think that you're right. There is a bit of there's a bit of that like. This is a long fucking process. Like, can I just get in here? Like, you've talked to me. You know I'm not crazy, at least. Exactly. You know I have the knowledge. Like, can we just get this on? Like, I get you. That makes sense.
But there's requirements. They have to look at, if you're going for a job where it requires education, they have to make sure that you got a bachelor's degree from the university that you said.
A thing?
Yeah, that's why you put down references. Oh. And they contact the university to make sure you actually went there.
Dude, we got some good references. ICC was a hookup.
It was.
D-Fox, Crystal, Jamie were beautiful people.
It was.
They're amazing.
Amazing people. But yeah, it's a whole process now. They have to do a background check. They have to make sure what you're saying is truthful on your resume. It's so much longer than it was prior to even the early 2000s. It was easier to get a job.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't just go online and fucking.
So are you
look up your?
When was he saying that? Oh, the pandemic. He was saying it like recently.
He was saying it beginning of the summer because I didn't really have I had a job this summer, but I was working only very minimally part time, like 10 to 20 hours a week.
Same place, right?
Yeah, I was working construction for Andrew Elias. Yeah, it was pretty solid work. Like I was getting paid. I was making like $200 a week or $100 a week or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Like I just had to live frugally. Like I wasn't paying rent or anything.
But yeah, it's a part-time gig. You're not going to get a whole lot. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it just like, but he was trying to get me to get like a full-blown like full-time job. So I'd have like a bunch of money, but. It was
I'd love to have a full-time job right now, low-key.
It would be nice to not have to go to school.
Hey, but it is late. Dude, we don't have any responsibility whatsoever.
Like, hold on. We're still on the boomers.
I'm shifting gears.
We're still on the boomers topic.
We were on that.
So I wanted to ask something, like, since we're staying on, like, politics here, and we're just talking mainly politics.
Dude, I talk politics too much. All right.
Sorry. What's something that you think is very foreseeable for, like, when our generation starts to take over politics? What do you think,
I'll let you finish questions.
What do you think's like going to be, the biggest change in government like even in society?
I think it's going to be mostly societal, and I think that we will get to a really good point. Actually, I'm really hopeful about that because I think that this cop shit is really the police brutality is. People are opening their eyes with that George Floyd thing. I mean, that was just so blatant, and
it clearly was. Yeah.
Man, that was just tough. But I couldn't even watch the video. I felt really sick to my stomach watching that. But
yeah, I saw the video on Instagram because I follow Police Brutality Archive on Instagram.
Jeez, man.
And that I've been on police brutality for years. I've been open about it. I've talked to relatives who are cops and said, like, if you do this shit, you're a fucking piece of garbage. I've told my uncle that to his face. I was like, if you ever do anything like so-and-so video or whatever, like, I'll show it to him.
Right.
If you ever do that, like, I swear to God, I'll beat the shit out of you
Dude,
and go to jail for it. I don't care.
I think a lot of cops know, like, what they don't want to do. I mean, that guy was, like, everyone said it. He's had 19 violations of, like, attacking people too much. Like, he's just a fuck. Like,
but it's not just the cop, right? It's not. I want to get on to systematic racism with you later.
Yeah.
But not right now. Like,
it's getting good. It's getting good.
With police brutality, like, police officers know what they can get away with. Police officers know what their department, how much violence their department will allow them to commit. Police officers, I have the actual write-up from what the cops had stated had happened to George Floyd. I have the write-up.
Yeah,
I've said it on the podcast before.
They were you it way down. Like you see the video, right? You see the video. You saw what happened, and then they interviewed the cops, and the cops completely played it down.
The police report. The police report. The report that gets sent to their boss.
Right. The cops write it up. That's the police report. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like, they write it up and they downplayed it.
Heavily. They said he had medical complications, and that's why he died. They said he threw himself on the ground and had medical complications. Medical complications could be heart attack to fucking stroke, everything in between. It could have been he got shot in the head by a stray bullet that came from, like, south side of Minneapolis or some shit. Like, just... Yeah. Like...
I mean, he was on drugs, he had a heart attack, medical complications. They just write it off as that.
Exactly.
Because they're not going to... What the fuck?
Derek
Chauvin. Yeah.
Chauvin.
Yeah, whatever. That cop was like... I mean, he's obviously going to do that. He knows what he did.
Yeah.
He knows what he did.
Oh, absolutely.
He probably doesn't give a shit because he's just not a good guy.
No.
But you were saying downplay... you know what the cops can get away with is what you were saying.
No, not me. I don't know what the cops can get away with.
The cops know what they can get away with.
Yeah, the cops know exactly what their precinct will allow them to get away with. And they know that their cops, like their buddies, aren't going to stop them from doing something like that. Like I saw a police brutality video. It was just this wicked car chase, right? And it was just this car chase, and it was a white guy, for example. Just putting that out there so no one has really a bias in the beginning. It was this white guy just speeding down the road, right? And this cop comes over and pit maneuvers him.
Sure.
And his car spins out and he goes into the ditch and his car rolls like a fuckload because they're going like 120 plus miles an hour. Like they were flying. And his car rolls a lot. Okay. And you can see it on the dash cam behind the cop or on the cop car behind the car, right? The cop car sees all of this happen. And then when the car rolls, right, the cop pulls off into the ditch. The guy flies out of the vehicle, hits the ground. Obviously unconscious, might be dead, right?
Whoa. Might
be dead, and he pulls up right in front of the guy, or right next to the guy, and you can see it clearly on camera. 13 cops come flying out of nowhere, off camera, just come flying out of the scene and start beating the shit out of this potentially dead man.
What did he do?
I have no idea. But no matter what he did, it doesn't warrant... he's on the ground unconscious.
I mean, I can think of some...
Handcuff him.
I'm thinking of some pretty... Like, I'm not saying that the cops are in the right, but I can think of things that would cause people to do that.
But the man under, the United States Constitution has laws, right? He has his own rights.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to do that. But, like, hang with me just for a second. Like...
Oh, yeah, if he did something super fucked up.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying, like, don't... You obviously need to write the cops up. They need to be punished for that.
Yeah.
But whatever they did, we've played football. We've been on teams. Like, if someone pushes your partner, if someone pushes your teammate, you're going to push him back.
Exactly.
You're going to stand up for him. So if this guy punched a cop in the face, if I was a cop, I'm kind of getting boiled because that's fucky. Like, that's my brother.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to... But we don't know what it was.
But there's no... Absolutely... Like, if he punched a cop, if he killed a cop, and all the cops came over, kicked him twice in the ribs, and then handcuffed him and put him in the back of the car, or made sure he was alive first. I don't know. But
beating him up was not a good decision. That's completely police brutality, and that's too far.
It entirely is. And it's disgusting. And all of those cops, nothing happened to them. There was another cop. Was it Aisha Taylor or something like that? It wasn't Breonna Taylor, not Breonna Taylor, who was killed in her home by a wrongful police raid.
Yeah.
But it was some girl. in Louisville, Kentucky, I think.
Okay.
She was a police officer, and she intervened with another cop who had a black man in a chokehold.
Right.
She intervened with it. She pulled the cop off the guy who was handcuffed, and he was choking him. The guy was handcuffed on the ground, and the cop was literally had him in a rear naked choke, just choking him out.
Yeah.
And she grabbed him and she pulled him off of him, and she's like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And then picked the guy up and put him in the back of the car. Obviously, he was still arrested. She wasn't going to stop that, but she intervened with that. She was fired 2 weeks later for intervening in that situation.
And that's nonsense. She should not have been fired. She should have been even promoted because she was trying to save this pedestrian or this person because they don't deserve that.
No, they 100% do not deserve that. That is cruel and unusual punishment. That's in our Constitution. It's no human being should be subject to cruel and unusual punishment except pedophiles. I believe pedophiles should be shot on sight. But
I'm not even gonna say anything about that. I kind of want to get back. So
so police brutality, like people say, one bad apple spoils a bunch.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not necessarily just one bad apple. It's the bad mentality that they have. Mm-hmm. If your coach is telling the football team, "Hey, it's all right if you give a little punch here and there. If you punch a guy in the ribs after the play, or if you do a dirty little move," all those kids are gonna fucking do that dirty little move, right? So if one kid starts doing the dirty little move, and then another person does it, and another person does it, eventually it's just going to get back to the coach, and he's going to say like, "Well, all my teammates do it. I can't control it."
Well, get this.
That's what's happening in the precinct, in the squads.
Well, yeah. Like when the young cops come in, they see other cops kind of getting a little bit too aggressive with, I can't think of just people in general. Suspects, sure, that's the word I was looking for. They see the older cops getting a little bit too ruthless with the other suspects. So I think that they see that, and they're learning, like they're trying to figure it out. How am I a cop? I'm gonna look up to the people above me and mirror what they do, right?
Yeah, entirely.
So it is a culture in there that they need to change, and I will say that I am hopeful about that too, because I think that there are a lot of very progressive cops, and I think that's why people become cops in certain circumstances, is because they want to change. They want good things to happen. Mm-hmm. They want to go back to their community and help people change things, do stuff, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, but
there's a lot of bad apples kind of effing them up right now.
There are,
and that sucks.
There's a lot of really good cops,
and
there's a lot of really bad cops,
and
the negative always has more showtime than the positive, right?
Exactly. You're
never going to see a video. You see videos of cops playing basketball.
I love that
with,
shit. That's awesome.
Young kids in the inner city. That's cool and all, but there's way more police brutality videos out there.
Yeah.
And that's the fucked up part, is that there's a lot of bad cops. There's a lot of fantastic cops in this world. My brother-in-law is a cop, and I like to think he's one of the best ones out there. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's bad ones fucking it up for him.
Yeah.
So, I just personally, I think cops need more training. I think they need more. They need to learn more de-escalation training rather than actually escalating a situation. Because if you watch these videos, you can tell that there's a lot of situations where they have a chance to de-escalate the situation and keep it peaceful, but they refuse to. And that's not necessarily due to their training. That's due to their lack of training.
Right.
They're not told to make a situation violent. They're told to try and de-escalate as much as possible, but they're not trained to do that.
I mean, I can't argue with your case right now. Police do need more training, 100%.
Yeah.
How do we do that? How does that change? That's kind of where we go next.
It really is.
It sucks.
It's not defund the police. It's give them more training. It's give them the proper training to be police officers and not, respect receivers, right?
I hear you.
It's honestly the most ridiculous. There was a video of this black kid who was just trying to make a case for himself. He's like, "Hey, you guys are up in my shit, and you haven't told me why."
Yeah.
He's like, "I just want to know why you're here." And the cop literally climbed in the car, got in his face, and he said, "I'm going to rip you out of this car in 3 seconds if you don't step out of the vehicle."
Jeez.
And he's like, "Why do I have to step out of the vehicle?" Cop grabbed him by the back of the head, slammed him into the steering wheel, ripped him out of the car, and all the cops started kicking him while he's on the ground.
Jesus Christ, this guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked at the camera. He's like, "Watch this, folks," and then does it. And I was like, how are you proud of that?
Dude, if that guy doesn't get jail time or get kicked off the force immediately, I don't know what would happen. Like that just doesn't make sense.
It's disgusting.
We were kind of on a tangent to something else, and then we went off on the
I wanted
George Floyd stuff. I know.
I wanted to actually talk to you about systematic racism.
Okay.
Because I don't want to say you live in like a predominantly black community, but you live in an impoverished community, right? You
Yeah,
don't live in
I
a
would
wealthy
say
part of town.
I would say it's like the lower portion of the middle class is what I consider it.
Okay.
And then there's definitely like projects nearby, and there's definitely poor people all around in the neighborhood, and like foreclosed on houses everywhere.
Yeah.
And it fluctuates year to year as to whether, it's a little bit more scummy or it's a little bit better. And it's actually been getting a lot better recently since I've grown up.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you because there's a lot of people out there who don't believe in systematic racism. They don't believe it's a thing, even though it's, there's a ton of evidence supporting the fact that systematic racism is still very prevalent in our community today, which is pretty disturbing to say the least.
Sure.
But what's your take on it? Like I feel like you might have thought about this a lot. If you haven't, I wouldn't be surprised. But
no, I definitely have. Things just need to change. We need to get the right leaders that know what they're doing in positions where they can change the things that need to be changed. Do I know all the things that need to be changed? No, but there are definitely policies and specific, like, was it redlining or something? I feel like I hear that term a lot, and I could talk about that. Redlining is like dividing up areas into like, you don't know what I'm talking about?
Redline, like what they did after the Jim Crow laws.
Yeah.
In the 30s.
Yeah, but that's like still around today. Like people are still being affected by that today.
Yeah,
right, and that's
entirely.
what systematic, like that's part of the systematic racism.
Entirely, they're being affected by that today. Like the city in those areas actually passed laws so they could get liquor stores on every corner.
Right, and it just kind of bogs
corner.
everyone down.
And it bogs the whole community down,
Right.
right? Because if there's no industry in that community, first of all, they made industry taxes extremely high for that community. So basically, any place that had some sort of manufacturing plant, that had some sort of like office building or anything like that, any place that wanted to have employees that would do work for a common goal, right?
Sure.
They could manufacture something. It would be almost 25% more expensive to do it outside of a redlined area.
Sketch.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So taxes were raised significantly.
People make less money.
So industry would not go there.
Oh.
Industry would stay away.
Okay. That makes sense too.
And Michigan is basically the only place that is that didn't abide by those rules, because there was already industry there, and then they put a red line in Detroit. They put a red line community in Detroit.
Yeah.
So
I was definitely thinking a lot about the systematic racism when the George Floyd thing happened, and I had a lot of really good points, and I kind of rationalized all the stuff out in my head. Dang, I wish I could have talked about it then, because I was all on my mind at that time, now I've like switched gears to school. But
exactly,
one thing I will say is that the high school I went to, I think it was about my freshman year, it was about 5 to 10% white people, and then it was about 30 to 40% like black people and of Muslim descent, and then about like even 40% Asian, and then the rest was like we had a lot of Mexican people and just kind of various other nationalities. But
1 sec, let me cut you off here. Tom, what are we looking at for time? Should be to the right of the recording.
We're at an hour and 7 minutes.
Okay.
Perfect.
You're talking about like how many?
Yeah, so just kind of the demographic of my school.
Okay.
And so I absolutely saw how the teachers there wanted really good things for the students, and we had a lot of teachers of minority. It was about half white teachers, and then the rest were of a minority, quote unquote, right? So everyone there wanted the students to be successful. Teachers and educators are like, they really do want the best for their students. I mean, they love students. That's why they got into teaching, and that's why a lot of them got into teaching.
Yeah.
But the laws and crooked politics, it played a role in the forming of kind of bogging down black people after they're freed, right?
Oh, entirely.
And so
like
that
I was saying the red line, like the raised taxes, and like
it screws it up.
The city passing bills so that there could be a liquor store in every corner, like that's
Yeah. So
That's gonna fuck up. That's like a recipe for disaster for a community.
right. So to the systematic racism thing, I said, or what's going to change? What's the difference from our like the boomers to us? What's going to change when they all pass away and we are now the boomers? We're now the old 60-year-old people complaining about the government. What's going to change? I think that's going to change. I think that we're actually going to get out of this stuff. And I'm like I was saying, I'm really hopeful about it.
Yeah.
Because I I don't pray, but I pray that like we can get out of this and we can move on, and there's no more police brutality, and there's equivalent demographic of black people, white people, Asians, and Mexican folks, like that. All of the demographics in each like in each industry, it's all equal, right? And that there aren't just white people in STEM, and that there aren't just white people being cops. Like, I want it to be equal. I would love that, and I hope that's what it eventually gets to. Is what I'm saying.
I don't think it'll ever be equal, like to that extent. I don't think. Camera switch, buddy.
So like 10%, like let's say the population has 10%, or what is it? 50% white people, just for theoretics.
I think it is like 50% white.
50% white people. So that means that 50% white people theoretically should be in each of the industries. Like there should be 50% white people in STEM, and then
that's what you mean.
And then
I thought you meant like 33% white people, 33% Asian, 33% black. Like,
no, because that's not how it should work. It should work like if there's 20 million white people, then that whatever's
the percentages.
Right. That's how it should work.
But you were, what were you?
I'm a little lost in thought now.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that I think that's going to be one big thing that changes, but I think politics in general is just going to change. Like, I think our generation doesn't really, like anyone you talk to our age thinks that lobbying is bullshit. I don't think that the oil company should have the ability to give billions of dollars to politicians to stay like making the amount of money that they do.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's honestly just absurd. I think that lobbying is the most ridiculous thing, and so do a lot of people our age. Mm-hmm. Think that lobbying is the most disgusting thing in politics, because it's basically telling the corporations, hey, if you spend enough money, you can run the fucking world.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing.
No, seriously. I mean, I hear you, and I don't think the lobbying, I guess, I don't know what is the good side of lobbying. Like, why is it good? Like,
it isn't.
Like, I don't get that, but I would love to look more into it. I never looked into it, but that doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Why does Amazon get to donate $1 million or $1 billion to Joe Biden? Why? So he can run ads in every city? What? Like, I mean, that's not. Yeah. That's just a theoretic, but that's theoretical. Like, I don't even. That's not true. But like, why is that a thing? Why does that? That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. And the fact that politics is so like monetized now, like, politicians pay millions of dollars for ads, and ad companies make millions of dollars off of politicians for ads. Like, that's like a huge contributor to the fact, like, why they have to make so much money, why they have to lobby, right?
Yeah.
In Europe, actually, they for their politicians, they designate a certain amount of air TV time.
Dude, that's great.
TV airtime, like that. They
like
pay
distribute
nothing
it up perfectly. Like
essentially, yeah. Each politician gets like a certain amount of time to talk about their policies and what they want to change and what they want to see changed.
That'd be pretty cool. I would like that, actually.
And then also term limits. Term limits is a huge thing for Senate members, because if you're in the Senate or in the House and you keep running every 4 years and you keep winning, you can win for the rest of your life. You can keep winning the election for the rest of your life and stay a senator for the rest of your life. You can stay in politics for 40, 50, 60 plus years if you get in when you're 30. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. Like, Joe Biden has been in politics for 47 years.
He needs to get out, dude. That man needs to retire.
That's what I'm saying. So politicians, like, they don't have term limits. The president does. The president has a term limit, but only 2 terms. That should be the same thing for every other politician in this country. It shouldn't be the fact that Joe Biden gets to run for senator 100 different times. Yeah. All the way to the point where he can't even fucking remember the words that he has to say.
Like, it's from a script. It's sad, bro. Like, if that was my grandpa, I'd be like, damn, like, bro, let's just chill out. You know, let's play some cards, some dominoes. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's put you in a home. Let's
eat some broccoli and some carrots and like just chill out, dude. Like, oh man, he's up there. Like, did you see the photo of
Hey, Tommy, I want to thank you for being our tech.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank
the
you,
folks
buddy.
at home appreciate it.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. I know a lot of people who appreciate watching the shit on YouTube. Like, I know quite a few friends who like just get silly baked and they'll throw it on TV.
Throw it in the comments. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thomas, we love you, and
we do love you. We love you a lot.
It's good to see you again, man. I love seeing you smile. It's so beautiful, man.
Dude, we got into some intense topics.
Dude, yeah, I'm kind of like, it is kind of sad times right now, man, that we got all this creepy stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like with the Ghislaine Maxwell and just like the sickening things that Trump says and the way that we see Joe Biden perform in speeches and when he's talking, like, man, that kind of freaks me out. That's the future. That's the next 4 years. One of these dudes, that's sketchy.
Yeah,
that freaks me out.
It
like,
really is.
I mean, either way.
And they're both so old. They're almost 80, both of them.
Ugh,
Trump is 74, 73?
I think it's 4, yeah.
74, and Biden's like 77?
70, yeah.
Dude,
77, yeah. He'll be 81 by the end.
Biden's not going to make it through the 4 years. Like, he's probably going to die.
Right. Obama, did you see the side-by-side of him in like
Yeah.
2008 and then the end of his, I think it was the 8 years?
Yeah.
Dude looked like he aged like 30, 40 years.
Dude, he looked, when he went into office, he
you be able
looked
to
like
pull
a
that up?
healthy, he looked like a healthy 30-year-old.
Yeah, man.
He looked like a healthy 30-year-old in his 40s. And when he got out of office, he looked like he was 68.
Dude, you know who Joe Biden's going to look like? Joe Biden is going to look like in Star Wars 6 when Luke took the helmet off.
When Luke takes Vader's helmet off and he's just... Dude, look at that. He got gray hair in 8 years.
Oh, man. Hey, he did have a lot of gray, though, not going to lie. All right, it isn't as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, but he was...
No.
only
Look
like-
at the two... if you go to the third one down on the left,
Yeah.
that one's a little better.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that one's much better.
You can just tell, like, that job is stressful.
He is a strapping man, not going to lie.
He's handsome. Very handsome. He's probably the handsomest president besides Kennedy that we've elected.
Kennedys they're pretty handsome, too.
Yeah.
Look
But
at you see who did. All right, whatever.
But
Can't look
that's
at that.
the craziest thing about that is like how much he aged, you know. And he was a healthy guy, and he was an intelligent man too.
Yeah.
He like if anybody could run the country, it was fucking that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Being young and intelligent and motivated, like
He did some good stuff.
dude. The first lady though, that's not a real job. Being a first lady.
No, it's you're just the wife of the president.
Exactly.
Or if a woman wins, you're just going to be the husband of the president.
Yeah, exactly.
Your spouse does the job.
The first gentleman of America. Thank you.
First gentleman. That's gonna be so cool.
I was almost the first gentleman of America. No, like Bill Burr has a great point on that. He's like, fucking Michelle Obama looks younger than she did when Obama got into office.
Yeah.
She looks younger
Honestly.
now than when fucking they were just senators.
yeah.
When he was just a
And
senator.
she didn't do anything. She just sat around and got pedicures and
No,
put on
she-
lotion.
she
Like
did
it's
shit.
awesome.
She took my school lunch away. That's
She
what
did, dude. That's why we don't have cookies. See, I was in SPPS, St. Paul Public Schools. Yeah, I eat that stuff every day. We got cookies when we were in elementary school.
Dude,
and when when Barack got elected and they changed that.
Michelle started doing
Big
that.
sad.
That 50 minutes of play. I was like, just let the fat kids be fat. Like, come on. That's all they got now. Like, they've already lost. They're 10 years old and they weigh 150 fucking pounds. Like, just let them.
Dude, imagine a 10-year-old 150 pounder.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I was a 10-year-old at 150 pounds. Or I'm pretty sure I was 150 pounds at 10 years old.
Bro, 10.
I was a
What is
fat
that?
kid.
What is that, 4th grade? 2nd, 1st? Dude, I was taller than my teacher in 1st grade. Yeah.
What?
And she was not a little person.
What?
Yeah, dude.
First grade?
Yup.
Dude, you were like 8.
Yeah. I was a tall boy. I've been tall all my life. It's
Jesus
crazy.
Christ. You were probably like, what, 40 inches long when you were born or some shit?
I don't know.
Just a long-ass baby.
Just measuring babies. So what do you think about the school year starting? You want to get it on? You want to switch, or you want to go to the politics? You want to go back? What you thinking?
I think we talked enough politics. I think everyone's sick of hearing politics.
I dude, I'm sick of it.
I'm so sick of politics too, and like how COVID is affecting everything. Here's the thing about
COVID
school,
politics.
dude. That's all we're hearing right now,
Yes.
and then it's just gonna be. I've never You know, there was actually like CDC members that came out and said like they've never seen like a pandemic like this be so politicized in their lifetime. With SARS, H1N1,
Oh yeah.
like that shit. None of that has ever been politicized like it was now. And H1N1, I'm pretty sure, was during an election year.
Yeah. That's crazy. What the fuck is it, man? What changed? What is it? All right, no, let's not get into it. No. Let's back up.
We can't. I think we should talk about school now, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
School, dude. Football's gonna start for professional football.
College
NFL.
football's done, though.
Oh, dude, it stinks.
Those poor NDSU players.
No NDSU, bro. I was actually really sad to hear that.
Dude, no tailgating. Oh,
I was looking so forward to that tailgating with Thomas, bro. Tailgating with Thomas would be the best.
Dude,
you can drink. You can have an open. Well, I don't know if you can have
container. Yeah.
Yeah, in a certain area.
Alcohol there.
You just walk around with a beer in a public place. That's like the best thing since sliced bread.
And you just it's
awesome.
Right. And you just hop to the tent over. You just keep tent hopping.
That's why I felt like. When I was in Europe, it just felt like it felt kind of goofy
because I could free.
Yeah, because I could walk around with just a beer in my hand. Like I was a bum, dude. Like I just because like in Budapest, in Hungary, like we went there, and you can and in Prague, Czech Republic, you can walk around with an open container.
Oh yeah, we did all the time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I walked around and drank a beer. Like, dude, every morning in Denmark, I would wake up, drink a beer before I showered, drink a beer in the shower. Then I would walk to school drinking a beer. I would drink a beer on the train, dude. That shit was allowed.
What did Foxman think of that?
He loved it.
Dude.
Absolutely loved it.
Oh, man, I love Fox. He's awesome.
D-Fox loves me.
Shout out Fox.
I could
Fox
probably kill a person and D-Fox would be like, bone.
Bone.
That's it. I don't think he would like be super upset. He'd be like, all right, why'd you do it? And I'd be like, oh, he fucking, he killed someone. He killed like a friend of mine or something. And then he'd be like, oh, all right, yeah. Justified.
Just
as long as it's justified, like he'd understand.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh.
But as for school, like, what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen?
Oh, are we gonna
school year? Yeah,
bet here? Are we gonna take some odds, like 50-50? Bro, I think
we could bet.
Man, it's really questionable. I mean, they're doing the hybrid model, so we're gonna be online and in person. It's going to be that. But I think that if we're not going to be wearing masks, we're probably going to just go online. Because this shit's going to spread like wildfire. It's a college campus with parties, bars, lecture halls, and workout facility. It's going to spread.
Dude, Tom talked about it on Saturday night? There's a rager going on across the street from his house.
Yeah, all day. I actually knew some of the people.
Like a wicked part. I was invited to it.
Yeah, that's right.
I was told. They're like, dude, come here. And I was like, no. I don't want to get fucking COVID. Like, are you kidding me?
Yuck, man. I don't want that.
Yeah, I think. How long do you think it's going to take before we go fully online?
Month?
I was thinking like a month as well. I thought like
a month or two.
4 weeks.
Yeah, we're not getting halfway through, I don't think.
No. We're not making it to November.
Yeah. We'll probably be home, let's say Halloween. That's my guess.
I think Halloween's going to be like the turn. If we make it to Halloween is going to be the reason why we all have to go home.
Dude, Halloween,
because
bro.
Halloween, first of all, listen to this.
Trick-or-treating. There's going to be nothing.
No, it's on a Saturday. Halloween's on a Saturday, and it's daylight savings, so we get an extra hour at 2 a.m.
Bro,
dude,
that's so cool.
If we're not shut down by then, and we're still doing the on-campus shit, I am going to the biggest party that is on like anywhere in Fargo. I'm going to the largest one.
Dude, that's
I don't give a fuck. I will go dressed as Ben Roethlisberger, and I will get super hammered.
Yo, why do you look like Big Ben though? That's awesome.
What's up, Nas?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I am. I guarantee it. Halloween.
Hey, we won't even make it.
You don't think so?
No, don't worry, Nas. Don't worry.
But that's the thing. Everyone's already here. Everyone's already
weird?
In their leases. Everyone's already in the dorms. Like, this entire apartment building is filled with people because they have to be here on campus.
Yeah.
Because there's classes that require them to be here on campus. Everyone's already here. So, like, if we shut down in a month, is everyone going to go home? Probably fucking not.
Yeah, they kind of want to keep it hybrid so that way we'll keep paying the apartment leases, we'll keep paying the on-campus living, we'll keep paying the dorms. Like, otherwise people are going to go home and be like, yo, give me my money back. Yeah. Like, I wasn't living there. I didn't have to live there.
Exactly.
I was online. I was doing online school. Why would I pay for an apartment?
Yeah.
Like,
so The craziest thing about it is that it is going to eventually go online, but the reason for that being is that there's going to be so many. It's going to spread. It's going to spread like wildfire.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you said.
It's going to be kind of yucky, because we got like Tinder and all that stuff. People just meeting up. So that's just another contributor.
Even
but
at
I
the
think the
wellness
bars, the wellness center is really bad.
Wellness center, there's no mask.
Dude, I mean,
no one's wearing a mask, bro.
you work out. How many? What do you think of the wellness center, bro?
Yeah, pop your mic on. Talk.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, like, okay, the facility,
It's nice.
like the weights.
They have a lot of squat racks.
Pull that camera.
I like how you're just like the squat racks. Like that's you can move the camera, bro.
You could do
or you can move the mic.
Yeah, you can move the mic to your
close to
face.
You could do like your overhead presses and deadlifts and squats,
Yeah.
but nobody had a mask. 7
No.
a.m. The place was loaded with people, and just not a single person had masks.
No one
Nobody
does.
was cleaning off their equipment.
Seriously,
Nobody.
dude. I clean off everything. I did before COVID, but like
Yeah.
now I wear a mask, and it's like, what else can I do? Like,
Dude, it's gonna spread there. It's gonna spread at the bars. I've seen countless snap stories of people at like sports bar or at like fucking literally any Fort Knox. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Sports bar, Fort Knox. No one's wearing a mask. Everyone's talking to each other. There's no social distancing.
man, like one thing I will say is that like there really aren't that many cases here, but
But
like
someone like you know how many how many people are from the cities that
yeah,
come
that's very true. I bet you a lot of people got COVID and they just don't know.
here? Yeah.
Like, but here's the other thing I will say is that let's say Corona did just spread between everyone at NDSU, and I mean, to be honest, I don't know if it would really be all that bad because NDSU seemed like the people walking around seem like a lot of them are in shape, and I think they would fight it off just as you would maybe pneumonia or like a cold.
Yeah.
At least that's from my understanding.
But it's
a lot of
not-
times it's not terrible. But it is
not
bad.
about the student. No one gives a fuck about the students. Everyone understands that. Like 99, almost 100% of the students, as close to 100% as you can get without being statistically inaccurate. But those like students are fine. They're not worried about students. I'm worried about the professors that have us there in class when all this shit does break out. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Dr.
Like
Bob.
The people like cleaning everything, they
Yeah.
can get sick. Like I get you. That makes a lot of sense.
Dr. Bob talked about it. He's a man in his 60s. He's a man in his 60s, and his wife has asthma. She has underlying health conditions that could cause that, like COVID pinpoints, and like most people who have those underlying health issues have died because of COVID.
See, that's
So-
when it's like,
So he made a great point. He's like, I'm not going to be the one to take my wife out. He's like, I will move this online even if NDSU doesn't let me. He's like, I will move this entire class online because he's like, I don't care. He's like, I would rather lose my job than lose my wife.
no, that makes sense. I mean, I think the
So-
professors should be given the option, but I think the professors also need to just be really cautious. Wear masks,
Everybody
wear
needs to be
gloves, whatever.
cautious. But it doesn't matter at this point. We're already past the point of return. Like, it's already here.
Everyone's gonna get it. Yeah.
Everyone's going to get it.
Do you think we're gonna get it? Should we make a bet? like Halloween? How many of us have it? Like of our friend group?
We'll all go get tested.
I think as clean as I do think I am, I think I'm gonna get it. To be honest, I don't know what it is. I just feel like I'm gonna be like one of the first people to get it.
I feel like I'm probably going to get it too.
I'm not gonna accept it. I'm not gonna accept it. I'm gonna wear my mask at all times, and I'm gonna do everything I need to. I'm gonna disinfect my hands, wear the hand sanitizer, whatever. But I'm just like, I feel like I'm gonna get it regardless.
I do feel that way too. I do feel like I might get it, and when I do get it, like, yeah, I might lose my sense of smell, but it's like everything in my apartment smells like shit anyway, so it's like I don't care.
Crap! I was gonna say one more thing.
I think we should put a wager on this though. We should put a wager on like when school shuts down. We should have a date.
Let's say over under on Halloween.
Over,
It'd be
under on
under.
Halloween?
It'd be under, right?
That's a bold assumption.
Wait, what's
still have-
specifically shut down? What's that?
We're all
online entirely.
Campus is shut down.
Can't even go into class.
Can't even go into class. Can't even go on campus.
Dude, I think I think we'll make it to Halloween. I bet you there's gonna be a few classes that are still like, no, fuck it, we're doing it. We're gonna come in like, just, dude, some conservative professor. I feel like they would do that.
I think it's gonna be early October. It's gonna hit first week of October. I'm calling it right now.
Okay.
First week of October, fully online, guaranteed.
All right, dude, I'm gonna be mad, but all right.
Wager that shit.
Yeah. Yo, I do want to say thank you to Gabe. Gabe did a lot. didn't Gabe do a lot of
Gabe Law. He teched for
Yeah.
this podcast.
Thank you so
countless
much,
time.
man. I haven't met you, and I'm really excited to meet you. But like, I'm gonna look at the camera. I'm excited to meet you, Gabe. No, but like, you've been helping Trent out with doing that, and you even did a bunch of podcasts. Like that's cool shit. And you seem like a really good dude. I can't wait to meet you, bro.
Yeah, he's a fucking solid guy. He's been one of my best friends for as long as I can remember. I think ever since we didn't go to the same elementary school, but we went to the same middle school. And we all just kind of molded into the same friend group. And
Yeah.
Me, him, Max, and just the squad have just been best friends for a really long time.
Dude, that's awesome.
And
I love
Gabe
those.
He's such a solid dude. He was always willing to tech. He even had a job too, and he was able to tech around it, which was crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's just a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
He's really, really nice dude.
Yeah, man. This is awesome. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we probably should. I mean, I gotta go pick up Tom Arby's for doing this, but
Okay. All right. All right.
so what should we look for next for a guest?
That's a great question. I have a few people in mind. We can talk off air about it. But
For sure.
I
don't really want to talk on air about
Yeah,
it.
I kind of want to get Sam back in here, maybe.
That'd be
if he's
wonderful.
available.
Dude, he had a ton of, like, when I went to your apartment yesterday, he had a shitload of insight on Call of Duty. He was talking about it.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
Like, he's like, this COD is so different from the other CODs. And, like, he knows almost everything there really is to know about those games.
He knows a lot. He
knows
knows a lot.
so much.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up for the people, and
For sure.
'cause I think I got to get on. But thanks for listening, folks. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Hey, I'm glad.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm glad to have you back, Dan. I'm pretty sure all
Dude,
of
I'm
our
pumped.
listeners are fucking sick of hearing my voice.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
I know Nas has only been living with me for 4 days, and he's already sick of hearing me. So, so yeah. All right, we'll have to wrap it up here.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.